Welcome to Henry's Chatterbox. Today's date is May the 8th, 2026, and this is episode 26. Henry's Chatterbox comes to you from an outside building in my yard in Newport Richey, Florida. We talk about life topics. No politics. We never talk about politics. We're not professionals. We just have clean, wholesome chat. We discuss a specific topic every episode. My name is Henry Berner. As always, with me is Randy Small. We begin with the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever and ever. Amen. Okay, let's get started here. Last episode was 2 weeks ago. We didn't have an episode this last Friday because what if I told you we went on vacation and we were in Hawaii and we had all this wonderful time? Well, if I told you that, I would be lying. I would be telling a lie. I was home taking people to doctor's appointments, taking myself to appointments. It was a rough week. So anyway, glad to be back. Today's topic is about lies. But before we get started on that, let's go to Randy for some advertisement. But let me say this. Be aware the advertisement you are about to hear does not necessarily express the personal views and or opinions of members of this podcast. Randy.
So first up is going to be Skit Trivia by Henry Berner. You can buy Skit Trivia, which is a great little memory game and a great little drinking game, whatever you want to make it out of, at www.amazon.com/author/Henry Berner, spelled HenryBerner. Next, we have W's Energy. Get your pre-workout and your after-workout and your workout energy drinks as well as your gaming drinks at w.gd and use promo code Randolph Small, spelled RANDOLPHSMALL, for 10% off your total purchase. Also, as soon as I pick the one I want, Rumble Wallet. It's your money. Technology has changed and everything, and now that's how money works too, because it's changing that. You can buy crypto. Crypto started as a niche, but now it's going mainstream. Faster payments and more control. And with Rumble Wallet, you can not only get your paycheck deposited there, you can also buy crypto and fund your favorite creators through the app, directly through Rumble Wallet to them. Go ahead and go to Rumble Wallet. Go to the Play Store or the App Store and download Rumble Wallet today. Yep.
Okay, we're mad. Today's topic is all about lies, and if there's anyone out there that says they've never told a lie in their life, they're probably not telling the truth. But I kind of researched a little bit on the internet about lies, and it was a little confusing to me. To me, a lie was when you say something that's not true. But one definition said that there has to be intent to, there has to be some kind of intention behind it to deceive or mislead somebody. And the one article I read went on to say a metaphor is not a lie. So I don't know. I've heard people, and I've even said it myself, been so tired at the end of the day because it was one of those days. And you say, I got in bed last night and I just died. Well, you didn't die or you wouldn't be here. So that says, that's a metaphor. Another metaphor is that, and my mom used to, I've heard her say this, the fog was so thick you could cut it with a knife. You ain't gonna take no knife out there. Whack, whack, whack. Can't do it. The
That sounds like
fog
fun,
don't
though.
get that thick.
That
It
sounds
would
fun.
be fun. It would be fun, yeah, but you can't do it. Fog gets dense, it gets thick, but you cannot cut it with a knife. Scared to death. I was scared to death. Well, how are you here telling me about it? Scared? Did you come back to life? This when I like different things happen, someone fixes it and they say it's like closing the barn door after the horse gets out. Another thing I was confused about, and I'm hoping maybe someone to email me and straighten it out. And Randy and I talked about it. On the Ten Commandments, one of the commandments is thou shalt not lie. And there's another one, should not bear false witness against thy neighbor, I think it says. But it's, in my mind, I'm thinking don't lie would kind of cover that one. So if there's anyone out there that feels like they'd like to email me and straighten that out, it's henryberner@yahoo.com. Uh, Alzheimer's. I was a CNA for many years. I've worked with many Alzheimer's residents. And I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, they called them white lies. It was okay to fib or lie to an Alzheimer's resident. If they come to you, and I'll give you an example. One woman came to me one day and said, I am just worried to death. My husband should have been home hours ago. And I'm afraid he's been in an accident. I'm scared. And so my immediate response was not to say, Miss So and so, your husband died 20 years ago. You went to the funeral. No, that would be the truth. But what I would say would be something like this. Oh, Miss So and so, I forgot to tell you, your husband called and said he's going to be late tonight for you to go ahead and have dinner and he'd see you later. And of course, the residents, oh, thank goodness. And, I couldn't find you, but he said he didn't have time to stay on the phone. He had a lot of work to do and that he'd see you later. Um, so that's, something to think about. Is that a lie? I mean, if you're real strict that you're going to follow the Ten Commandments, I guess under the definition of deceiving, yeah, I wanted to deceive the lady. I wanted her to think her husband was fine because that's what she believed. And, I didn't want to upset her. So, and that's what a lot of the training tells you to do. Mail an envelope. Oh my gosh. I bet you a lot of people's done this. You're leaving someone's house and they hand you an envelope. You go right by that mailbox. Would you mail this? It's really important. You say, yeah, I'll drop it in the mail on my way home. You get in your car, you drive home, and you completely forget. And they call you because it's an important envelope. They call you to ask you, did you put that in the mailbox? And you don't want to tell them you didn't, that you forgot. What you're thinking is, I'm going to put it in the mailbox first thing in the morning. But right now, I'm going to tell them I already mailed it. So you tell them, yes, I put it in the mailbox. You didn't. Lie, lie, lie. Where we at here? Dinner was good. Usually when I tell someone, oh, they made me dinner, yeah, that was good. But, or somebody's wearing, especially a woman, does this dress make me look fat or something? Or, you don't know what to say. But sometimes we lie, or at least I do, to keep from hurting someone's feelings. Like, say I know someone that's notorious for borrowing money from you and never paying you back. And so they ask you one day, hey, can you loan me $20? Or can you loan me $100 to pay my electric bill and I'll pay you back? Well, you've got it, but you, rather than saying, well, I'm not going to loan it to you because you never pay back. Or it's easier to just say, oh man, I would if I had it, but I don't have it, I'm broke. And you're not broke. I guess that's a lie. But have you ever gave anyone the wrong directions by accident? By accident. So maybe that wouldn't really be a lie because you wasn't trying to be. So I don't know. Um, any thoughts, Randy?
To give people wrong directions because I didn't want them to know where the fuck I was. Excuse my language, but
Yes,
I'm being honest. There are some people you don't want to know where you are, so you intentionally give them the wrong directions.
Well, I was meaning directions to a business. Hey, do you know how to get to the courthouse? And I would say, go up here and take a right, and the courthouse will be on your left. And then after they leave, you get to thinking, oh my gosh, I forgot I should have told them to turn the other way and it'd be on. But, hopefully they'll forgive you. When someone asks you to lie, now this is a big one, and I won't do it. If somebody comes up to a friend and says, hey Max, you gotta help me out. I didn't know my wife would be home last night, so I went to some girl's house that I've been seeing. And when I got home, my wife asked me where I'd been. I told her I was at your house watching a movie with you. So will you go along with that? My response to that is no. I'm not going to go along with that. You can lie to your wife or husband or whoever. Don't involve me.
I mean, if they're cheating, I'm not going to cover for them. But they went out bowling or went out to have drinks with the guys. All right, I got your back.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll honor the bro code on that one. But if you're cheating, you just might as well consider yourself disowned and thrown under the bus. Honestly.
Yeah,
But if you went out and had some fun or something like that, I'll cover for you.
You ever met somebody that they lie so much you don't believe nothing they say? But if they say even a broken clock is right twice a day. So someone that lies all the time tells the truth once in a while, I guess. But you don't believe them when they do tell the truth because they lie so much.
People tell the truth and people think it's lying until they find out it's the truth.
Ever lied to your doctor?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, doctor. I do. I walk every day.
No, doctor, I don't smoke, and I got a pack of cigarettes and other stuff in my
Right.
And you smell everything.
I can honestly say I don't think I've ever lied to my.
I have. And the doctor looked at me and said, I know otherwise.
There's some people I wouldn't believe. Here's another saying I wrote down on one of the metaphors. I died laughing. I watched it. You gotta watch this movie. I watched it and I died laughing last night. Well, you didn't die laughing, or you wouldn't be here telling you about it. I laughing. I'm sorry, y'all. I gotta get better organized. Truth can be. It has been said. Sometimes people can. I don't know how to say this. They can hide a lie in the truth. Yeah, they can hide a lie in the truth. They can tell the truth, but give you another idea. People, oh gosh, I lost my train of thought here. commercials can be misleading. I can remember a commercial years ago that was advertising a cake that was so fluffy and tender you could cut it with a feather. And they actually had a feather they would slice it with. But I'm sure that was some kind of trick photography. I can't imagine being able to cut a piece of cake with a feather. Um, now, when Mountain Dew first came out, I remember reading the information on the side of it, and it said that it was so that it tickle your innards. Um, Gosh, I should have brought a light with me. One of the things that I wanted to talk a little bit about a compulsive liar. Let me just look someone lie. You know, when you when you get caught in a lie or you catch somebody. I love catching people in lies. But you know what? Some of these people, you catch them in a lie and they still won't own up to it. They say, oh no, I was just joking when I told you that. I thought you knew I was joking. Well, that's a darn lie. You didn't think I was, you wasn't joking or, and sometimes it's hard to admit it, to lie. Someone said, well, why did you lie to me? Some people lie to get out of work. What can I tell them at work? I don't want to go to work today. If I tell them I'm sick, I got to get a doctor's note, yeah. So, that's something. But if you catch someone in a lie, that's, let's see, perjury. Don't ever do perjury. I looked it up, and I guess it's on legal documents or if you're in court. I would never do that because from what I've read, you could be fined and go to jail for perjury. Years ago, I saw a guy. I know. I'm sorry. I'm jumping all over the place. Like I said, I gotta get. I saw a guy, a husband and wife. They were older, and I was talking to her, and her husband was going somewhere, and he backed the car up and ran over one of their cats, and then left. And another guy was standing there, looked at his wife, and said, he ran over that cat and killed it and don't even know it. And his wife said, he don't know it and I don't want him to know it. She said, I want you to go bury that cat and don't say a word to him about it. And so that was that. Calling off work or dodging a party. Oh, I'd love to come, but I can't. If it was any other day, I could, but not that day. What a liar. Compulsive liars. If you've had the unfortunate, or fortunate, whatever you want to call it, situation where you knew someone that lied all the time. I worked with a girl years ago, and we all agreed that girl was a compulsive liar. It's like everything that comes out of her mouth was a lie. And they were not lies that would benefit her. And I think if I understood the definition right, that's what a compulsive liar is. That they're lying about something that's not going to benefit them. Like, they might say they went out to eat and they had tea with their meal when they actually had milk. But they tell people, well, I had a good meal and I had a nice glass of tea with it. And someone that was with me said, I don't know why she told you that she had milk. There's no benefit to that lie other than she just wanted to lie. Anyway, how to, where to go? It's down here. Oh my gosh. I wasn't lying when I told you I was messed up. Coping with compulsive liars. Coping with compulsive liars involves staying calm, setting boundaries, verifying information, and managing your emotional response while understanding their behavior is often a coping mechanism. And then it gives things I won't read it if you have a problem with someone that's acting lies. A lot of times you just wonder, well, so and so told me, and you told me this. One of you is lying, and I'm going to tell you a story about that in a minute. When me and someone, I said one of us has got to be lying, and it ain't me. Well, we both said two different things, but believe it or not, neither one of us was lying. I'll get to that in a minute. But detecting lies involves observing. This is just some advice to give you on how to find lies. It means observing deviations from a person's normal behavior, including changes in speech, body language, and facial expressions. Rather than relying on a single tell, establish a baseline. The most effective way to spot dishonesty is to first understand how someone behaves when they're telling the truth. Ask neutral, non threatening questions like their name, hometown, and weekend plan, and observe their normal eye contact tone, their tone of voice, posture, and gesture. This baseline allows you to notice subtle changes when they are lying. And they give some key points here. When someone's lying, they're speaking in a higher pitch or softer voice or clearing their throat a lot. Repeating questions before answering or, or providing excessive unsolicited details. But I think that's true. Someone might repeat the question. Pauses, corrections, or slower speech than usual. And inconsistencies and contradictions in their story. So that's why. Now I told you I was going to tell you I was in. I'm from a small town in Ohio, and this small town is between Dayton and Springfield. It's actually between Columbus and Dayton, but Springfield's a bigger town too. And who was my brother-in-law at the time, was on a bus, or we was both in a situation we was going to come back to Florida. And I had called the bus station and asked them how much a ticket would cost because I was trying to get the money together to go. And I might be wrong on the exact dollars amount, but they told me $125. Well, as I'm telling my family about it, they said, well, I'm just going to call him Jay because I don't know if you want me to mention his thing on here. Jay said that my brother told me, so when Jay said it was only $75. I said, I don't know why he told you that. It's $125. And, and he said that they said, well, he keeps saying it's $75. One of y'all is lying. I said, well, he's lying because it's $125. So when I saw him again, I said, hey, why are you telling everyone it only costs $75 to take a bus back to Tampa, Florida, when it's $125? I called them. He said, well, they tell me $75. I said, why would they? I said, you ain't making no sense. I said, call him right now in front of me. And he did. But he called the bus station in Dayton, which was They both were equal distance from where we were in Donaldsville. But I just always went to the bus station in Springfield, and he called the one in Dayton. So we were both saying something different, but we were both telling the truth. And needless to say, I decided to take my bus out of Dayton. And I guess I had a friend that was a travel agent. She said sometimes it's, you know, routes, good routes versus routes maybe have different stops and all. But anyway, I think that's about it. How can you tell if someone is lying? I did that. And I am sorry if we didn't. I didn't have much input today. Anyway, I guess we'll wrap it up. Thank you for watching or listening. Comments about this episode, previous or upcoming episodes are welcome and appreciated at henryberner.yahoo.com. Henry's Chatterbox is planned to start every Friday between 3 and 3:30. I'll pop up on Facebook and let you know what next week's topic will be. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Now you know what to do, just do it.